I think it's time everyone understood the times in which 12 of your more powerful internal organs are at its peak within the 12 channels. As most are unaware of this reality, we tend to cause misalignment and abuse the internal aspects of the human organism. So pay close attention to the importance of time from within. You see, from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. are the hours of the lungs, for which the lungs are responsible for governing chi and controlling all 12 channels, as well as the blood vessels within the body. It's important to understand that the lungs regulate all physiological activity, and the lungs control the vitality of a person's skin, as well as the hair on their body. Then there's the large intestine, whereas the hours of the large intestine are between 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. You see, its functions are really simple, as it controls the passage and conduction and is responsible for conduction and the reabsorption of fluids as well. Now, between the hours of 7 a.m. and 9 a.m., these are the hours of one of the more powerful organs after birth, and that's the stomach. You see, the stomach controls receiving and transformation of everything you put in your mouth, as well as the transportation of all food essences. Your stomach controls the descending of chi, and it stands as the origin of all fluids. Now then there's the spleen, which hours are represented between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. This is another very powerful internal organ, because it, as well as the stomach, is responsible for the creation of all postnatal chi and blood. You see, the spleen governs both the transformation as well as the transporting of all food essences and chi as well. As your stomach controls the descending of your body's chi, the spleen tends to control the ascending aspect of chi. You see, to an acupuncturist, the spleen controls your blood, your muscles, and all 4 of your limbs on your body. Now take notice of something. From the hours of the large intestine through the hours of the spleen, that's when you're supposed to eat breakfast. Think about it. As during these hours, the internal organs tend to be at their peak. As I bless you with the lyrical mastery, a way to live in the way that it has to be. Presently walk on a path of destruction, leaving the temple in a state of dysfunction. Living beyond the mental state of the masses, when sitting in classes won't help you to grasp this. So take a moment as I try to present you with lyrical facts to reside in your mental. And hear me out, hear the lyrical manuscript, chosen words as I hope you can handle it. Now from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. are the hours of your heart. You see, your heart is the internal organ that governs your blood, as well as controlling the blood vessels. And the heart tends to manifest on a person's complexion, and from a more spiritual perspective, it takes residence in a person's mind. Then there's the small intestine, whose hours are between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. and is an organ that is responsible for controlling reception and transformation, as well as possessing the power to separate fluids from within. Now, between the hours of 3 p.m. and 5 p.m., there's the bladder, which is responsible for removing water from the body via the process of chi transformation. Then there's those super powerful pre-heaven internal organs, which peak between the hours of 5 p.m. and 7 p.m., the hours of a person's kidneys, where both a person's kidneys and heart serve as the representative organs of yin and yang. You see, the kidneys are responsible for storing a person's essence, as well as governing your birth, growth, reproduction, and development. You see, the kidneys are also responsible for producing marrow for both your brain as well as your bones. As during these hours, these internal organs tend to be at their peak. The human body has a rhythm and flow to it. To understand it is to live and then go through it. The 12 channels of the human organism rhythm. Pauperism is the way that we walk within a frame of mind when disrespecting the tempo. The basis of existence is so easy and simple. Follow and listen as I bless you with lyrical facts, chosen to be how we should live and yes, how to react. Now next you have the hours of the pericardium, which are between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. You see, the pericardium has the great responsibility of protecting a person's heart. Not only does it protect your heart, but just like the heart, it assists with governing a person's blood. Then there's the Sanjiao, in which most of you have never heard of, which controls the water passages in the upper, middle, and lower parts of the body. You see, its peak hours are between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. You see, the Sanjiao, which really isn't an actual internal organ, is also responsible for mobilizing what is called the original Qi. Then the hours between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. are the hours of a person's gallbladder. You see, the gallbladder is what stores as well as excretes bile, as well as it controls a person's tendons. And finally, there's the liver, as we complete the 24-hour cycle in which your internal organs are at its peak. You see, the hours of a person's liver are between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. And that's important to know if you're constantly finding yourself waking up between those hours every night. You see, the liver is responsible for storing blood, as well as ensuring the smooth flow of qi throughout the entire body. You see, during these hours, these internal organs tend to be at their peak. Now, hopefully today's lesson is one in which you can learn to live by, for it is a lesson in which many may never understand.